Hi guys, Neff here. Today we are looking at the Zeiss IKON SK6 Vector Profile Lock. It's a pretty big challenge for me to get this one finished up. You can see it's got some pretty rough wording in there. The key looks pretty cool. It's got a nice design on it. I really like the IKON locks. This lock isn't really ranked very hard, but I had a real tough time with it. Matter of fact, when I first got it, I wasn't able to do anything with it at all, and then all of a sudden I started to kind of figure out a little bit of a strategy to get it finished off. So hopefully I can show you that here today on camera. So let's get it in the vise and see how it works out. Alrighty guys, we got her locked up in here, and let's go ahead and show you the key in action. Lock works great. A really cool cam design in the back there as well. You can see how it fits together as a two-piece design. I think that's pretty cool. Well, actually, I think make it even easier to take apart, which I have not done yet. I'll be picking it with a bent piece of wiper insert and a very slight slope on this hook that I made out of feeler gauge, and see how it goes. So I think the big challenge in this lock, based on what I'm feeling, is driver pins with maybe a barrel design. So we start from the back, and I'm pretty light on tension. I try to get clicks, even though they don't seem to fully set. It's almost like, I don't know this for a fact, but it's almost like I'm pushing them up into milling. So we're on 6. Click. Click on 5. Check them to make sure they're still up. 6 is up. 5 feels up. 4 is up. 3 is a real low lift, almost a minimal lift, but it still does do some clicking. That's 3. Let's get 2. I have to kind of really crank them up in there. I don't know if I got 2 or no, I didn't. Alright, I think we got 2 up. Actually, scratch that. I was still working on 3, I think. There we go. That was 2. 1 is a maximum lift. So we're going to go up on the other side of the warding there. Really push up in there. Then we do some tap, tap, tap. And what'll happen is I'll get into, it's not really a false set, but I'll get some core movement, so maybe a slight false set. And I haven't gotten that yet, so I haven't gotten everything up. So I'm just walking through and I'm tapping on anything that's springy. I don't mind being a little hard on it, because as it gets up past whatever it's got going on here, it does seem kind of difficult to overset. I haven't had too much of an overset problem in this lock. It's more an issue of getting anything set at all. Okay, so as I start tapping away on this stuff here, I'm starting to feel more pressure on like the core, because I can feel it through my tensioner, and that's telling me that most of this stuff is either set or in the milling. Don't know if you can see when I tap, but the core is actually, I don't know, almost a little wobbly in there. I think we might have just got our little false set. And what I'm doing is going through each pin. We're just tapping away, seeing what we feel. And what ends up happening, and this is what finished out the lock for me, is I would get to maybe this point and just be completely lost. What it is something's either stuck in milling, or it's the design of the drivers that stops it from going any higher. And you have everything pretty much set, and something is just barely caught. I'm truly think it's milling, but we're gonna find out if I can get it picked. So I am tapping away trying to get whatever is caught stuck up there. That was actually a little click on 3, so that one may have not been set yet. Checking 2 out right here. I think 2 is good. A couple times I got lucky, it was number 1 that was my last pin, and I just had to sit and kind of rock on it for a minute, but as I tried to practice it, it would regularly be a different pin, so can't really count on that. Yeah, 1 is probably fine. 2 honestly feels fine too. 3 is our minimal lift. That one would be the gatekeeper a lot too, and I'm not really getting anything on it. Feels set. Let's check 4. I'm gonna go all the way to the back and then move up. So we're on 6. 6 feels like it might not be there. No, I think it's there. Check 5. Five might be the guy that feels different. Go back to 6. Told you guys this lock is challenging. You know, as far as the rankings are concerned, I believe this lock sits at something like blue belt, middle of the pack. It was way harder than any blue belt lock I've messed with, but I understand why it sits there. I'm sure there are versions of this lock that are much easier. I don't have the worst bidding in the world, but come on, something's gonna open the gate for us here. Let's get it. I've just been working my way forward. Based on what I see, we are in that little false set. Now, I might be putting a little bit too much pressure on it. I'm going to ease up on my pressure. I'm barely pushing. And I'm going to go back to that rocking from back to front. And when I've done this before, eventually the core just releases just like that. Just releases. It's so weird how this lock works. That was it's just wild. It just feel it go limp. So we're gonna zoom out a little bit. Let's get this thing gutted and see what is inside of it, people. Alrighty guys, let's take a look at what we got here. So, in the top row, we've got some key control. It goes in the side of the plug here. Let's get our focus going a little bit better. There we go. So we got some key control that goes inside of the plug. These first two will match up with those two dimples there. Comes in contact with this passive sidebar down here, which just pushes up against that, stops the core from rotating. In the front, this pin goes in, and there is actually a little notch in the key, if you can see it. Yeah, little notch in the key for that as well. Kind of an interesting, like, double key control feature there. But I was very surprised at what I found in the core itself. I expected some sort of like barrel type driver because this was really hard, but it looks like it's just heavily mastered. A lot of people say mastering makes picking easier. For me, it could just be because I haven't been picking that long, but mastering, it makes it tougher for me. I can't feel what's going on as easier. You saw what was going on when I was picking it, as far as needing to just sit and rock and mess with it, and that could be related to one of these master pins being in the way, or you know, these spools or something. I may try to remove some of this mastering and see if that changes anything. But as you can see down here on the key pin area, there's still a pretty heavy amount of it. But looks like we just have steel key pins, standard stuff. The drivers that are standard, which are 1, 5, and 6. 6 I had to go diving for because I threw it while we were trying to gut it, which was a process. But it looks like we have a steel driver. 5 and 6 are brass. 2, 3, and 4 drivers are spools, and they are nothing special, just a sharp spool. I really expected something completely different in there, but what a surprise this was. Here's that cam design I was talking about. It is a multiple piece design that'll just fold itself around the cores as they're in there, and there's this piece will fit on either side. Let's take a look in the core itself. You can see there are 2 sidebar grooves, and you can see our springs are in there. You can see that it is not wanting to focus very well, but that's what we're working with here. So appreciate you guys watching. Any questions, comments, suggestions, or feedback, I'm happy to hear it. Y'all have a great day.